Well, hello, folks, and a happy weekend to you and all of you. It's Danny Boy along with Bill Corpus Crispy.
What's
We're-
up, buddy?
yeah, I'm great, man. Great to see you. I'm so happy to be back. Um,
Welcome back.
yeah, nice long break from the show. Obviously, I didn't take a totally big break, obviously. I did release a couple episodes here and there via the audio. And I
Finally.
yeah. Though I was pretty early with the 413. So, give me the credit for that at
You
least.
get an A. Mm.
In any case, 414 SIP on the Sports Insanity Network's YouTube channel. We appreciate you, we love you, and we thank you for always joining in. It is a Friday. I am rocking, as you can see here, with my David Lee jersey. You can't see the name of the back. It'd be kind of weird with this camera, but this is David Lee. Um, a newer version of the David Lee. If you know the David Lee jerseys from back in the day, they're the 2000s Knicks jerseys, so they didn't look like this. But I had this custom made because I'm ready to go. David Lee obviously no longer on the Knicks; he's no longer playing. But one of my favorite basketball players on the Knicks growing up, so always got to represent the alumni as much as I can. And of course, we have to support the current Knicks, who are pretty much fighting for everything here. Game
Yeah,
six
we got
at the
a
Garden.
big weekend, big sports weekend in New
It,
York.
it is a huge sports weekend in New York.
We got
Um,
Knicks and the Celtics game six tonight. We got
and and
the Subway Series starting.
and let's hope that that does not turn into a game seven in Boston. We definitely
Oh,
don't.
that's gonna be a.
We don't want that.
Oh, we'll get to all of that. But
Yeah.
first, we had the NFL schedule released this week.
Yes, we did. And Bill Corpus Crispy, you released a reaction to that NFL schedule. So,
Yes, I did. If for those of you who watched it live, I did it last night with Giants Blitzer writer Jeff Knapp,
okay.
and both of us had the Giants going 9-8 this year.
You are generous.
Yeah, I'm being way too nice.
You are generous. Yeah,
But to be
so
fair, Reggie, to be fair, it's kind of uneasy to make this. It's kind of it's kind of not easy to make these predictions in May.
yeah. Here's my thing though, as we talk about the Giants schedule first. I don't know where they get the wins in the first 6 weeks or so. Let's call it 6 weeks up to Philadelphia. I don't know where they get wins. You tell me.
Okay,
Washington,
first six
Dallas.
weeks.
Okay. You want to
Okay, in
go?
the first
You
six
want to go
weeks,
game by game? Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
I could see them. Okay, because you asked me in the first 6 weeks,
Yeah.
I could see them. Okay, and I'm just gonna progress this to a more overall picture. I could see them this year split in the series with the Commanders, split in the series with Dallas. Hold on, I think y'all need a visual aid.
On what sense though? Dallas is getting better. So is Washington. Washington went to the championship game. You're not being Kansas City. You're not.
No, I agree. We're not going to beat Kansas City. We're not going to beat Los Angeles. We're going to beat New Orleans.
Sure.
We're going to beat New Orleans. I'm calling that. Um,
And then past 6 weeks, you have Denver at Denver, which is a tough place.
yeah, but Denver can be on and off, so I can see squeak that one.
Okay. We obviously disagree. At
Oh, we
Philadelphia, we
at Philadelphia. Okay, you know what? I'm
we're
just
at the
going to say this now.
Meadowlands.
I'm going to say this now, Reggie. I think the Eagles are going to sweep us, and I hate to say it. I hate to say it. I think the Eagles are going to sweep us.
Yeah. San
Like,
Francisco comes to you. Chicago, Green Bay, Detroit, New England. Your bye week is week 14. That is a late bye week.
oh,
Late.
I was saying that last night. If you watched my thing with Jeff last night, I was saying I don't know what the NFL was thinking when they gave us that late of a bye.
Yeah.
They were probably thinking, let's see, they don't have any international games this year. They're not going to London. They're not going to Germany. Somebody I know team is going to London, but we'll get to that in a moment. Um, but we're not going to we're not going to London, we're not going to Germany. We don't have any holiday games this year. We're not playing on Thanksgiving, we're not playing on Christmas. So they probably made our bye week as late as humanly possible. Correct me if I'm wrong, Reg. I think that's like the last of the bye weeks.
It should be.
I think that's like one of, if not the last of the bye weeks.
Yeah, maybe like a week later or so. But like, Bill, there's no way you're getting 9 wins out of here. I just don't see it. You know, and look, I think you're being very generous. I think you're hoping. I think what Bill's hoping, and correct me if I'm wrong. I wonder if you're hoping that they go to Jackson Dart soon enough.
I'm hoping that.
Okay, so
Like, listen, if you gotta go, if you
because
gotta
Russell
be,
Wilson's not winning these games. Let's be real.
if he's gotta be benched for a few games and let Russell Wilson be the QB, then fine. But you know what? Hopefully soon.
Mhm.
I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I was being way too optimistic, but dude, to be fair, I had him at 9-8. It's not like I have him at like 17-0.
Yeah, this to me smells like another like 5-win letdown for the Giants.
It, it could be, unfortunately.
To me, like it is this schedule sets them up for failure. And look, if I'm being real with you, I think the Jets have a worse schedule, but
Oh,
this
we'll get to that in a minute,
this
won't
is
we?
pretty bad. Like, I'm sorry, like there's a lot of tough matchups here. You
But you want to
obviously
know something?
go ahead. Sorry.
I'm gonna say this, and I said this with Jeff last night. If you had asked me pre-draft if this season's gonna be an ultimatum for Brian Dable and Joe Shane, if you asked me pre-draft, I would have said yes. Now, now, because of the whole thing, and agree or disagree, because they got their new quarterback in Jackson Dart, I don't think this is gonna be an ultimatum this year. I think because of the draft, Dable and Shane bought themselves at least one more season after this season.
Which is tough to say because they did have a good draft. They did. We'll give them their flowers. But the NFL is not giving them and doing them any favors here.
They're not.
And that's the reality of the situation. Um, that's tough.
Yeah, you know what? This is again. I'm not even exactly saying if this is gonna happen. If this is gonna happen, but you got to think about it. But 'cause, again, it's hard to make these predictions when we're 4 months out of the season starting.
I mean, look, maybe Bill's right, and
Maybe I'm right. You know what? I'm maybe starting to doubt myself a little bit. But you know what? At least I'm being honest.
you know,
Because I don't know what's going to happen. And I'm sure when we talk about the Jets in a minute, none of us have a crystal ball. Like, listen, the Reggie is right. Maybe the Giants are going to shit the bed again, and they're going to go 5-12, or worse, or maybe the Giants are just going to squeak out a winning season. Who knows? All right, Reg, if I totally lost it.
no, I'm not gonna go that far. Um, I don't know, man. I'm
I don't know.
looking.
I'm not gonna lie. This
I,
is not an easy schedule.
I look at the first six, and
I
then
feel like the NFL secretly hates us.
yeah,
I think they secretly hate us because
they don't like.
why are you?
I don't. I think there's a New York bias in general because it
I
could
think
be.
Roger Goodell secretly hates us.
Yeah, I think that there is a New York bias in general in all sports, really, but definitely New York. Uh, Bill. I think. Look, you 9-8. Okay, like we will take 9-8, and hopefully there's um a November December football stretch where you guys are in some wild card position, whatever. That's cool. But
But again, I
I'm
don't
telling you,
know. And now looking at this schedule again, I'm like sitting there thinking, okay, was I drunk or high when I was doing this last night?
I just don't know where they get wins. For first 6 weeks, I don't know where they get wins. And then after that, that is a hammer. Hammer. The only time where I think you may have a good stretch is starting with the Patriot game. Because the Patriots are still young. So I think with that, you're not going to be the Commanders. Um, I'm not too sold on the Vikings. The Raiders are iffy, and then I don't know what the Cowboys are going to look like in Week 18. So that's probably your best stretch. You have the Patriots, and you have your bye week, and then you have the last 4 games of the season. Um,
Again,
I
bro,
think that might be the best stretch.
I think the NFL secretly hates us.
Yeah. So if I'm the Giants, knowing that you're a growing team, if you could get ideally to 4 wins, if you can get to like 6, maybe 7 wins, nah, that's gonna be tough. 7 wins by your bye week. If you can get to that, I think you may have a shot.
Okay.
I think.
I appreciate you being honest with me, Reg. I really do.
I think. Well, I'm just being real here
No,
because
no, I appreciate it.
yeah,
Maybe I was being a little too optimistic.
yeah. Well, you're a fan. You want your team to win. So and I want my team to win. So
All right.
I
Speaking of
do.
your team,
Yeah.
let's run through Reggie's beloved Jets, shall we?
Yep.
Because I love to torture him. Um, okay.
Disaster.
All right. I'll give my prediction. Week one, I can actually see the Jets winning.
If they don't have Aaron Rodgers, that is the Pittsburgh Steelers, then yeah, I can definitely see the Jets winning. They have Aaron Rodgers though. The Jets ain't winning that game. You got it in your mind?
Yeah.
Like,
But no, as of
you
now,
know,
I can actually see the Jets beating the Steelers, believe it or not.
with or without Aaron Rodgers.
If they have Aaron Rodgers, it's gonna be tough. If the Steelers have Aaron Rodgers, it's gonna be tough.
Yeah. Because here's the deal. If Rodgers, and we all expect him to sign with Pittsburgh, right? You know, if Rodgers decides to go to Pittsburgh, you know there's going to be a revenge angle and then some because he thinks the Jets screwed them over. Um, so yeah, I don't know. I think regardless, I think the Jets lose week 1
Uh,
because they
all
always
right. Week two against the Bills. Yeah, you guys are not beating the
no
Bills.
that
Good
that
night. God bless.
no. And that's at the Meadowlands, so you know you're gonna have a bunch of Bills fans.
Hey, hey.
Yeah, that they're gonna be annoying as hell. And
And you're
then
gonna be getting a call from your dear friend Nate Moser.
yeah, yeah.
And then we got the Bucks.
No,
What
not winning that. They're not winning Monday Night Football in Miami. That's not happening. Um,
and Mike Rifkin's gonna call to rub it in.
yeah. Um, they're not beating the Cowboys.
You're gonna get a call from old ops guy rubbing it in.
And then here's the real kicker. We go to London to face the
Dun 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 dun.
You're going to hate that. So then of course, once again, the Jets, they have an option. People don't understand this. The Jets have an option to take a bye week after London, and they opted not to take the bye week.
Which is just stupid.
Of course,
But do I really
let's play
expect
next.
anything less of the New York Jets?
No.
Do I really expect anything more of that? I'm like the Giants when they played in either London or Germany, they usually did take the next week off.
Right.
Like whose bright idea was it to, hey, let's let's go to the other side of the world, then come back and play another week? Whose bright idea was that?
I just don't understand.
And
Why?
and
Like,
by the
why?
way, the Jets get the London game again.
I just don't get it. I don't get it. I mean, the Jets they obviously have a relationship with the UK, so they're gonna put their games in London. It's stupid. I hate it. And the fact that they don't take bye weeks to, get reacclimated with US time zones and everything and rest, it just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense.
Do the Jets ever make sense, Reg?
No, they don't. All right,
Okay.
so I don't have the Jets winning. Believe it or not, the week that they should be taking a bye week, I think that's where they get their first win. I know I'm being pessimistic, but the bottom line is I don't trust the Jets to get off to a good start here. So
Okay.
um
Carolina, they gotta beat Carolina.
and you have to.
If they lose to Carolina, I lose respect for.
Yeah.
Okay. Next week, Cincinnati. Sorry, buddy. You ain't beating Burrow or
Not,
Higgins or Chase. You're not beating them.
no.
Joey B is gonna light you guys up like a Christmas tree.
Mhm. Yeah. And then of course there's the bye week, week 9, and then
Oh,
uh,
you get the good bye week. We don't get our bye week till week 14.
yeah.
I swear to God, I think Roger Goodell hates us.
Oh God. And then of course the November football starts. This is probably I hate to say it, this is probably our best stretch. We go to this is Cleveland, um, week 10. Then it's the Patriots. So the Cleveland's at home, Patriots in Foxborough, and then it's the Ravens in Baltimore. We're not beating the Ravens. We could beat the Patriots. We're definitely beating the Browns.
And I think you guys could beat the Falcons. I think in
Yes, I
that
think so too. And then
you guys are going to beat.
Depending on where Miami is, see, Miami's always strange because early in the season, Miami, they're gonna go off and crazy. So you know that they're probably gonna be, um, that game in Miami in September, you'd probably know that they're probably gonna win that game, the Dolphins. Late season Miami, I don't know what the hell. Every year it changes. Every year, I don't know what they look like. So my guess is that the Dolphins are gonna come in hot, and then they'll cool off by the December. That's where the Jets will win. So right now, from after the bye week, I have the Jets going 4-1 in that stretch, 5-1 with the Jaguars win, a trap game in New Orleans. Then they face the Patriots again at MetLife. That's the final MetLife game of the year. And then they go up to Week 18 Buffalo. I don't know what the Bills are going to look like. They'll probably lose anyway because the Bills are better than us. So I think the best stretch for the Jets will probably be there. But we have to see. Like, I don't know. Like, will it be enough to make the playoffs? It's gonna be a tough AFC. I don't know.
I want to ask you, why do the Jets always get the London game?
Well, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. They have a relationship with the UK for sure.
because Woody Johnson was the UK
Well,
ambassador.
that
So
and also they have a media deal over there. They have like territorial rights or whatever the NFL has.
like, please, I think no offense, I think London deserves better than the Jets.
Hey, you don't have to tell me that, you know.
But yeah. So that's the schedule for both the Giants and the Jets this year. So
So I think let's see. One, two,
yeah, again, I can't believe the Giants have such a late bye this year, though.
7, 8, 9. I have the Jets at 10 losses.
Oh boy.
So that puts them at 7-10.
You won 7 games. Congratulations.
I mean, because it's a tough schedule. That first stretch before the bye is a tough stretch for the Jets.
Who has the harder schedule, the Giants or the Jets?
Giants by far. I
Agreed.
I don't think the Giants get to 5 wins. I
Because
think
in the first 6 weeks, you're playing the Chiefs and you're playing the Eagles.
yeah,
I mean, if you want to know in the first 8 weeks, you're playing the Eagles twice.
yeah.
So yeah, I think the Giant. I knew I said 9-8 last night, and I was being way too optimistic, but we can only hope.
I mean, you better hope you're right because
Oh, if I'm wrong, you're all gonna laugh at me, aren't you?
the bottom line is like, man, that is rough. That is rough. Best of luck to you. Um,
All
so
right.
that's our teams. And then of course, primetime schedules. Um, for this season, Thursday night football. It'll be week 2. How about this Washington at Green Bay? So the
Ooh.
Commanders. That's gonna be a big one on September 11th. Um, the Commanders go up to Green Bay. That'll be the first Thursday night. Then you have week 3, Miami at Buffalo. That's going to be a good one. Seattle at Arizona, week 4. Week 5 is San Francisco at the LA Rams. Week 6 is Philadelphia at your New York Giants, Billy. And then week 7, Pittsburgh at Cincinnati. Week 8, Minnesota, LA Chargers. Week 9, Baltimore, Miami. Week 10, Vegas at Denver. Week 11, my New York Jets at New England Patriots. Well, that's another thing. I didn't realize that week 11 matchup in Boxborough is a Thursday nighter. So as I'm telling you, the Jets, they're not doing them any favors either. Um, Week 12, Bills at Houston. Week 13, Chicago at Philly. Here's a good one. Dallas at Detroit, week 14. Week 15, um, Atlanta at Tampa Bay. Week 16, LA Rams at Seattle. And then week 17 is Denver at Kansas City. That's also going to be a good one to
That's
end.
Christmas. That's a Christmas game, I think, right?
That is Christmas Day, yes. But of course Christmas falls on a Thursday, so Thursday night football.
Because you know what's so funny, and I have probably explained this before, historically wise, the NFL used to avoid playing on Christmas like the plague.
Right.
And now they're like, hey, let's play on Christmas. And the NBA is probably all, hey, bro, this is our day. You have Thanksgiving. Piss off.
Yeah.
But no, I think the NFL is slowly gaining Christmas like they have Thanksgiving.
Yeah. No, I think look, they realize that on these holidays they make a lot of money. So they're going to they take advantage of that they have a lot that they make a lot of money. 2, they take advantage of that football is the number one sport at that time. Like, people love basketball for sure, but here's the problem with basketball, and it's running into the same problems that baseball and hockey have, which is that the regular seasons, one, they take forever, and two, not everybody plays all of the 82 games. So there could be a Christmas Day game where the stars sit out because they want to rest. So the NBA is taking a massive backseat because of stuff like that. And of course, like I said, the regular season, like it's regionalized in the regular season, just like
Yeah,
baseball.
or just if you want to talk about generally, I think why the NFL does better is because why it does better than the Major League Baseball or the NBA or NHL is because if those other three, you could have 3, 4 games a week. The NFL,
Right,
your team only plays once a week.
right,
And since Major League Baseball, their season is like 6 months. Everyone else's season is like 5 or 6 months. The NFL season is only 18 weeks.
yeah. So it's literally a big game every week.
So I feel like the NFL, the stakes are higher.
Yeah,
Like if a Major League Baseball team or an NBA team or an NHL team gets off to a slow start, then okay, we have time to shape things up, to shape things up and you know get through the rest of the season strong.
right.
But in football, you get off to a slow start, you're basically screwed.
So it's tough. It's tough. So look, that's why football has become the massive moneymaker on these holidays, and give them credit for realizing it. Give them credit for realizing it. Um,
Okay, so that's the NFL, and now
well, first of all, it's funny how we keep talking about which teams deserve Sunday Night Football. Why are the Giants on Sunday Night Football? Like, why? Why? And don't tell me it's because they deserve it. Do they deserve it?
probably not.
Yeah.
No, listen, I'm a Giants fan, but I'll admit it. But I don't think and yeah, you're putting us to play the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. Good job, NBC. Yeah, we get to embarrass ourselves
Now look, the Jets don't deserve it.
nationally. Perfect.
The Jets don't deserve Sunday Night Football, nor do I want it. I would much rather play 1 and 4 o'clock. But like, dude, like get the Giants off of prime time. Has John Mara not like I was about to say Wellington Mara. Has John Mara not realized it? Has he not like got into his head? You know, your team could get embarrassed against the Chiefs. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you know what? No, I don't think Wellington Mars realized that he's been dead for 20 years. Yeah, he's been dead for 20 years. But no, I don't know what John Mara was thinking, and especially against the Chiefs, in which you're gonna get shellacked. But we have a more important question to ask about that game.
Right.
We have a very important question to ask about that game. You know what that is, Reg?
What?
Is Taylor gonna be there? Is Taylor Swift gonna be there?
Look, it's in New York, so she better be there, you know?
That's probably gonna be the highlight of the game because we know Mahomes is gonna be shellacking us. So they're probably gonna show Taylor about 72 times.
In any case. All right.
But anyway, yeah. So
NFL.
yeah, I don't think the Giants deserve any Sunday night games
Yeah, I
or
don't think,
Monday night games
I don't
or
think
Thursday night games.
no, they don't deserve any of that. Um,
Well, I think they're getting like one of each this year.
yeah. How
They
about
got the
right,
they got the Sunday night game against KC, then they got the Thursday night game against Philly, and then they got the Monday night game against New England.
right.
I'm sorry, go on.
Yeah, in any case. How about the Ravens at the Bills?
Ooh, that's gonna be a good one.
Let's see. So you have it's the week one. That's the first Sunday night, real Sunday night football. The Sunday night football schedule start. It's that Thursday night special where the Super Bowl champions they host the team. They're hosting the Dallas Cowboys. um, on September 4th. But yeah, Baltimore at Buffalo, Buffalo at Highmark Stadium, the final season at Highmark Stadium, the first Highmark Stadium that was once what Rich Stadium, Ralph Wilson, New Era Field, Highmark Stadium. That's going to close, and then of course the new Highmark Stadium, right across the street, uh, will then open up in 2026. So nice, memorable season coming up for Buffalo. Hopefully, I mean, I don't know, but they face the Ravens. That's the first thing. Um, yeah, just going through some of these like Sunday night matchups. A lot of Washington Commanders on prime time this season, both
I'll take it.
Monday and Thursday. So they
Hey, Jaden Daniels has been rocking.
they are going to be a national powerhouse. And then, of course, now with this new momentum, they get the NFL draft in DC. We're hoping for a brand new stadium on the RFK site. Um, of course, some of the renderings are out there. The plan is there. It's got to be voted by DC Council, which I think it will pass. Um, but yeah, a lot of momentum for the Commanders. That's great news for them. Um, Interesting stuff. The whole NFL schedule is all across the web. You can check it out. All the primetime games, all the nonsense. It's gonna be great. Um,
Okay, so now we move on to the hardwood. What we got some tonight.
mm,
Wow.
we tight. We have some really, really tight series. Um, Really, really tight series.
No, before we get to the Knicks, the Nuggets forced a game 7
I
last
forgot.
night.
Yeah, the Nuggets went on a massive run at the end of the third quarter, and then of course they just absolutely obliterated OKC. Um, I have no idea where Shea Gilgeous-Alexander is. He has looked terrible. And he's not taking control. Like he's the best player on the team, and he's not taking control for the Thunder. I don't understand why. He needs to be selfish and be like, no, this is my time. This is my ball. I'm going to lead us to victory. But for whatever reason, the Nuggets made him look scared, and it's the Thunder have not had a good series. They have not had a good series. Um, and Denver's done a great job. Obviously, the veteran experience of Jokic, who has been absolutely, absolutely tremendous this entire series. The entire Nuggets roster has been great. They have really exposed OKC for what they are. A young, inexperienced, though they're the number one seed in the West, young, inexperienced, and it's a problem. But they look, the advantage is OKC goes back home. So they need to close that at home.
So yeah, let's see what happens in that series. But we all know what's on everybody's mind right now,
Yeah.
especially us fellow New Yorkers, and if we have any viewers or listeners in the Massachusetts area, we know what's on your mind, folks. Tonight at the Real Garden, MSG Game 6 tonight. The New York Knicks versus the Boston Celtics. Bruh, all I gotta say is so far, what a series.
I don't know. I'm scared
Oh, I
because
am too.
I looked at this Knicks game 5 in Boston, and the way they showed up, they were okay in the first half. They weren't great. Obviously, Jalen Brunson did not have a good game. Cat's not having a great series. Josh Hart was tremendous. Of course, Josh Hart getting rebounds, making big time shots. He's tremendous. By the way, Josh Hart, I don't know if you saw it, but he got whacked in the eye
Ooh, I
by
did see that, yes.
Fournette. A lot of gashing blood. It was crazy. He's a tough son of a gun. I love Josh Hart. Uh, but yeah, not a great performance out of Jalen Brunson. Not obviously one of the worst I've ever seen of Cat, and then nothing from OG Anunoby. So you know, I'm thinking with the help of Mitchell Robinson, who was great, he actually hit his free throws, which was nice. Um, the help of Deuce McBride. I'm thinking we had an okay first half. They had a great first half, and we're tied. I'm not confident. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm not confident unless Brunson comes alive in the second half, in which he did not. He got 5 fouls in the third quarter and didn't really have a chance to explode like he usually does in the second half. Um, he got fouled out in the fourth quarter. And that was pretty much it. And then, of course, the Celtics just took over. The Celtics, with the help of Derek White, who's been tremendous from three. Luke Cornett has been tremendous defensively. And, of course, he scored a ton of points. And then, of course, Jaylen Brown, when you don't have Jason Tatum because of the Achilles injury, and but by the way, prayers up to him. We won't be seeing him until maybe 2027 or whatever. Um, but but without Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown actually takes over, and the ball moves well for Boston. Boston's like 10 and or 11-2, whatever the record is, without Jason Tatum. So, Bill, I don't know, man. Like I saw a very flat Knicks team. They got into a lot of foul trouble. The Celtics look like a team that has adjusted well. I'm scared, man. Like I don't like this matchup right now. Like I really think the Knicks really found another challenge that they had to overcome.
Now, like, here's the thing with the Knicks. And okay, since we weren't here before game three, like, I'm going back a little bit because I was saying to myself
Right.
that what the Celtics had to do is they had to pull ahead early because there's gonna come a time where the Knicks can't come back from 20 points. And we've been seeing that. We saw that in game three. We saw that in game five. And like, here's the thing. I think what the Knicks need to do is they need to do one of two things. They need to get ahead early, and they need to hold, and which they did in game five. They did in game five. They got ahead. They got ahead early, but their problem is they gotta hold that lead.
That's the
And
big
if
thing.
the Celtics do catch up, they either got to try to pull ahead
Right.
more, or at the very least, at least keep the game close.
And that's the problem with the Knicks. They don't lay the hammer early. They
And
don't
that's been the problem because I've said this before.
follow.
There's gonna come a time, and I said this with Rifkin when we did the show on Monday night. There's gonna come a time, and again, we saw it in game three. We saw it again in game five. There's gonna be a time, and we saw it twice, that the Knicks are gonna dig themselves into such a hole they can't come out and come back but from 20 points like they did in game, like in the last game of the Piston series. They did in the first two games of this series. They're at this point where they can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So I think in this, what the Knicks have to do is like what you said. They need to drop the hammer early. They need to put their foot on the gas and not look back.
And the slow starts are absolutely killing them. It's
Oh,
killing them. And
absolutely.
look, of course, we're happy that Jalen Brunson can come clutch in the fourth quarter.
And that's great.
Of course, but he can't do that all the time. He cannot. And if there's no contribution from Karl Anthony Towns, you're talking Brunson going 40 plus. That's not going to happen every night. So we need the Knicks to come out and kick their ass. Yeah, can we get an ass whooping once?
You want a good old fashioned ass whooping, Reg?
Like
I love a good old fashioned ass whooping. They're
can we
fun.
beat them by 30? Like, can we blow them out the building tonight and have the Garden rocking the entire game and not sweating like we usually are? Like, it's ridiculous.
Well, like this, and like here's the thing. But if the Celtics come out early, the Knicks, and they did this in game four perfectly. they kept pace with them.
Yeah. Well, the Celtics are a good road team.
The Knicks kept pace with them in game 4. So I think if the Celtics come out because you if the Celtics come out swinging, and they're going to come out swinging tonight. The Celtics are going to come out swinging tonight. So if the Celtics come out swinging tonight, the Knicks need to keep pace with them, and that's what they did. That's what they did Monday night in Game 4. They kept pace with them, and I was we were because Rifkin and I were doing the show while the game was going on. If the Knicks go into halftime down by 10 or less, then they'll be in okay shape.
Yeah,
They'll
usually.
be in good shape. But the Knicks need to listen. Yes, the Knicks still lead the series, but you got to look. But the Knicks have to win tonight. They have to win tonight
There's no
because
room.
if you
There's
lose,
no
and this
room
goes,
for error.
do you want to go to Do you
No,
want to go back up to Boston for Game 7? I don't.
no.
I don't
And,
want to go to games. I don't want to go to Boston for a 7th game. That is like signing your death warrant.
yeah, and look, this is the thing that I was scared of. You know, look, I wasn't expecting the Knicks to win the series. I was not. And but they got up to a 3-1 series lead. So now the pressure is on them. Let's be real about it. The pressure's on the Knicks because
Dude,
at first the Knicks were playing, very freely. Like they didn't care, right? So now that they have a 3-2 lead in this series, they are 1 win away. Now the pressure's on them because Boston is the one that needs to come back and try to win.
but you know what? You may smack me for this, but I think the Knicks have been on under the pressure since after Game 2. Because if you were going into Game 3 and you're the Celtics, then they just embarrass you on your home court twice. They just embarrassed you on your home court. So now you're going to the Garden, the real Garden. You're going to the Garden,
Yeah.
and because I was saying to myself for Game 3, because again, we didn't have a show for Game 3 because we were both out of town. I'm like sitting there thinking, the Celtics are going to be coming into MSG and they're going to be out for blood.
Yeah. And that's the thing that I'm scared about. A lot of Knicks fans are confident that they're going to wrap it up. A lot of the NBA experts are confident the Knicks are going to wrap it up. I'm not that confident. I watched that game 5. I watched that second half, and that looked like a Celtics team that wants to win.
And
That
they're going to be
they're
tonight.
not out. They're not out. I think this goes 7, and then if it goes 7, I don't know who wins that game. I'm gonna be
You know what they say about Game 7?
I don't
Whether
know.
it's baseball, basketball, hockey, you know what they say about Game 7? It's anyone's game.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing. The Celtics tonight, they're going to be like,
Mhm.
hey, we win this, we go back up to Boston.
Yeah.
And you
Right.
know what? I hate to say this. If the Celtics win tonight, they win the series. Because, yeah, okay, there's going to be one more game left. Because if they win, I just said it. If they win, this series goes, they're going to be shipping up to Boston. Whoa. Or as we say, we're going to be shipping up to Boston. We're so fucked.
And we are because I just let's see what adjustments the Knicks make. They
And
have
listen,
to
just
come out with a bang.
don't play like you played on Wednesday night in Game
I,
5. The
I
second
need them
half
to
was
be better. They have to be better.
garbage.
The the slow starts have to stop.
No, agreed.
Starts have to
The Knicks
stop.
got to come out swinging.
Like
The Knicks have to
enough,
come out swinging.
enough.
Actually, no, they got to come out
Uh,
with the nuclear bomb.
Okay, let's get her done. Let's move on to Indiana. They're waiting for us. In case you didn't figure it out. And if the Knicks lose Friday, well, we have to wait till Monday. Monday for game 7.
Knicks, please win tonight so Reggie and someone else, Samantha Black. Shout out to you. So, we don't have to be on pins and needles until Monday.
Why
Oh
I think,
my God.
why do I think this is gonna go on Monday? Like,
I have this feeling too, but I also have this feeling I think the Knicks, after losing Wednesday night, they're probably going to be fired up. Hopefully, they are fired up. And
yeah,
they're like
and, let,
thinking,
and
hey,
let's see what adjustments they make
we're going
because
to be at the
they
Garden.
got whooped on they got
That
whooped
place,
on Wednesday.
dude, that place is going to be freaking rocking tonight.
Yeah.
That place is going to make a that place is going to make a Metallica concert look like a tea party.
Um, Wednesday night is the East Finals, so Indiana's waiting for the winner of the Knicks Celtics. Whoever wins gets to host Indiana, and then of course, Minnesota they beat the Golden State Warriors, so they move on to the West Finals. They're waiting on the winner of Denver and OKC. That's gonna be interesting. Uh, the West Finals begins on Tuesday. Uh,
All right,
Need the Knicks to win. Need the
so
Knicks.
the wait begins.
Yep.
As we are now on pins and needles for the next 9 hours.
Yep. And
So
of course, I had to be on standby so because of some bad weather here in the DC region. So of course, while I am frantically worried about the Knicks, I have to possibly be on air. So I'm not very happy about that.
let
Uh,
me ask let me ask you, there's gonna be also, there's also another big thing going on in New York tonight. The Yank Subway Series is starting.
I'm not watching that.
Who
I'm
do you
not.
think's gonna get more views? The Knicks Celtics or Yankees Mets?
I think the Knicks. The Knicks.
I think the Knicks Celtics are going to get more views, but you also got to think about it this way with the Yankees Mets.
Yeah.
Soto's coming back to the Bronx.
See, that's the only part about the Subway series that's very, very interesting. These Juan Soto effect. And look, I don't want to ignore the Subway series because I get it. It's a big New York event and we're a baseball town. But the thing is, I'm in Knicks mode. I can't worry about the Yankees right now. I am in Knicks mode until the
I
Knicks die.
understand because
And I can't. I just can't with the Yankees right now. The Yankees suck anyway. So, the Mets are better. We all know they're gonna sweep us. You
I'm going
know,
to be flipping back and forth tonight.
I honestly don't care enough. Like at least not right now. Look, if the second leg of the Subway Series, depending on where the Yankees are, um, I'll worry about it then. But right now, I am 100% on Knicks basketball. Look, I won't totally ignore the Yankees. Okay, it is an interesting event. Of course, obviously there's the Saturday portion and the Sunday portion. So obviously I'm not going to completely ignore them. I'll be on them all
Because
week.
if the Knicks lose tonight, they won't be playing again until Monday.
Right. But, right now, like, Knicks mode. Knicks mode till they die, you know? So all I'd say about the Yankees is, you know, hit as many home runs as possible. The Mets are a good team. They are a good team. That is a good power hitting team. They love Yankee Stadium. Um, we don't get our best until Max Fried. Max Fried is what, Sundays? Probable.
Yeah, I think so.
By the way, how about the Yankees Seattle? They took 2 out of 3 um in Seattle, and then I think 2 out of 3 against the A's. So good road trip. Good road trip overall for the Yanks. Um, but yeah. By the way, prayers up to Oswaldo Cabrera. I don't know. Did you see this? Um, he had that gruesome, just gruesome leg injury. Um, against Seattle. I forget. Was it Tuesday? I think it was Tuesday, Monday or Tuesday. Monday. It was Monday.
Monday. Yeah,
Monday.
that was ugly.
That was an ugly injury. Sorry, I've been on vacation, so I lost my days. It was Monday. As well, Cabrera broke his leg, had to be carted off on a gurney with his air cast on his leg. Just a horrible, horrible injury. Um, that was on the Aaron Judge RBI, I believe, sack fly. And then just a horrible way to end the night. Yankees won that game, but tough one to swallow. Great teammate. Not necessarily the best player, but great teammate. Always has a good attitude. You never want to see anyone go through such a horrible injury. So
It's terrible.
yeah,
So yeah, but it's gonna be yeah. I think the Mets are gonna win this series, unfortunately.
I think they can Mets sweep. I
And
think
then we have to hear it nonstop from
sure, but let them
Mark Halpern,
let them.
Mike Rifkin.
Look, the Mets are the new darlings of New York baseball. Let them. Let them have their time. It's okay. We're cool. We can accept the fact that we're second fiddle, even for a little bit.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm getting sick of this whole Big Brother talk. I'm getting freaking sick of it.
You're sick of it? Like we've been doing it for 20 years.
Okay, we have been doing it for 20 years.
Come on
Point
now.
taken, point taken.
You know? Fuck out of here. Let them have their time. It's okay. Look, the Yankees will always be, as long as the Yankees continue to bring up some good talent and have stellar managing. And look, the managing is always questionable with Boone, but as long as they continue to bring on some good players and all that stuff, we'll always be in somewhat of a baseball talk, but let them have their moment. It's okay. Let our fellow New York baseball fans who root for the folks in Queens have their moment. It's okay.
Let me ask you something. What do you think the reception Soto's gonna get tonight?
He'll probably get booed. I think
Oh, he's
he'll
gonna get
be
booed. He's gonna
he'll
get
be
beer
booed
cans thrown
all
at him.
he'll be booed all weekend. On top of being booed at the plate, he'll probably hear it nonstop from the bleacher creatures and the right field uh people. It's gonna be bad. It's gonna be
He's
really
gonna get stuff thrown at him.
like and I feel bad that's not me. I don't do that. That's not who I am.
Like I boo, but I don't throw shit.
Sure, you can boo him because he didn't want to. Let's be honest. The reason why Juan Soto is going to get booed is because Juan Soto did not want to be a Yankee.
He
So
wanted to go where the money was.
only he wanted to go where the money was, but he didn't want to be a Yankee. He wasn't really a Yankee. Like, Aaron Judge is a Yankee. Derek Jeter is a Yankee. The people that got it, the people that want to win, the people that want to embrace the pinstripes. Juan didn't embrace the pinstripes. He was great. We loved it. We were thrilled, but he didn't embrace the pinstripes like the great Yankees have. So he didn't want to be here. That's why fans are upset.
No, I can agree with that. You're right. When I see Soto, I don't really see a Yankee.
You know, and obviously, they're mad because he took more money from the Mets. But you know what?
Well, what did I tell you though, bro? I told you the minute when after the World Series when they asked him, "Are you coming back?" and he said, "I'm open to all 30 teams." Uncle Stevie's mouth was salivating. His mouth was like, "Yes, yes, come to Papa, come to Uncle Stevie." Come to Uncle Stevie. Yes. Yes, come to Uncle Stevie. Yeah. So from the day and we all know who was telling him to say that. We all know Scott Boras was in his ear telling him that, like saying, "Hey, you got to play a little hard to get here. You got to play a little hard to get if you want to get shit done." And yeah, so he's gonna get the Bronx cheer tonight. You know it, I know it. Anyone who has half a brain knows it. He's gonna get the Bronx cheer.
Yeah. So that's the Subway Series. And then of course, other news in the baseball world. This is huge for those of you very interested in the history, the true history of baseball. How about Rob Manfred, the commissioner of baseball?
A broken clock is right twice a day.
He has lifted the permanent bans of old players that are like past players that are dead. So he officially said that your the permanent bans expire upon the player's death. That was announced, I believe, what was it? Wednesday, Thursday, it was sometime this week.
Tuesday.
Tuesday, sorry. Again, my days are way off. Like I
You
still
go away for a week and everything's discombobulated, Reg. Come on.
I still don't feel like it's Friday. Let's put it that way.
Me neither. And
Like,
I've been working, regularly like everyone this week.
yeah, my days are way off. But um instant reaction, I'm cool with it, but it's too late.
I am sort of mixed on it too. Like, it's about damn time.
Yeah, no, look, it obviously includes Pete Rose,
Pete
um,
Rose is included. Shoeless Joe
Joe
Jackson is
Jackson.
included.
Um, look, I'm cool with it because finally we get to honor Pete Rose, who is one of the greatest hitters I've ever watched. I didn't watch him when he was playing his career, but his highlights are just tremendous. Every time I watch Pete Rose highlight, it's hit after hit after hit after hit. It's awesome to watch. So of course, like I'm supportive of it, but at the same time, it doesn't feel the same when you don't have the player there. You know, it doesn't feel right.
And I don't think he's gonna be on the ballot until what I think they said earliest he
2020,
can get in is summer 2028.
something like that. Yeah.
And you know what? I think that's even ridiculous. Okay, first overall thoughts. I'm happy it's being done
Yeah.
because I think Pete Rose, Shoeless Joe Jackson is, well, Shoeless Joe Jackson, he's been dead for like 70 years. So I think it's way too late on that. With Pete Rose, I think at this point, it's basically the hey, you've been dead and we kind of screwed you over when you were alive, so we're going to wait till you're dead to put you in the Hall of Fame. Which I think the whole ban on that is absolutely just embarrassing to begin with. And you've heard me say about this. Pete Rose should have been in the Hall of Fame a lot when he was alive. And credit to I cannot believe I'm saying this, but credit to Rob Manfred for doing this. I Reg, I can't believe I just gave credit to Rob Manfred. This is a strange day.
Yeah, you give him credit because he's the one that lifted the band. However, it's too little too late. Rob Manfred is sort of trying to right the wrong of so many things in baseball. He still has to right the wrong of the steroid era because
And I was
that's
talking
next, by the
to
way.
people about that. Like, is this going to open the doors for like Barry
Yes,
Bonds and Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa?
it should.
And
Yeah.
and but if you get with all this, you got to look at it this way, though, Reggie. You gotta look at it this way. A you gotta look at it this way. Is this going to open the door for the steroid players? But you know what's going to happen if it's in 20 if he's not getting until 2028, the baseball writers still got to vote for him. Like, are the baseball writers still gonna You know what? I don't think they should even wait to 2028. You know what? Rob Manfred, if you are listening, let's have a special election. I think we should have a special election.
See if he actually gets to 75%.
Like that's going to be a question too, because you
Uh,
know how the
uh,
writers are. You and I have been bitching about this for ever since we were in community college. We've been
yeah.
ever since we were on Dutchess Radio. You and I have been complaining about this.
Well,
The
well,
baseball writers, the ones, and you know my problem with this. It's full with these old fuddy duddies who think they're protecting the integrity of baseball.
the big thing is the quote unquote moral high ground that they think they have.
Like they're just doing this
Like,
so when
no, yeah, you're trying to, for obvious reasons, with power and everything, you're trying to um make it about you rather than make it about the game. We have to focus on the history of the game. Baseball fans, every time baseball fans criticize their sport, it's because the game, right? It's about the game. Always about.
and I feel like if you don't put Pete Rose or Shoeless Joe or any of the other, like the Chicago White Sox who were with Shoeless Joe who got caught for gambling, like any of that, you're sort of rewriting history.
Yeah. And by the way, the gambling doesn't matter anymore because people bet on anything, you know? So betting's allowed in sports now. So look, Rob Manfred obviously knew he had to do it. Especially with a lot of the political pressure too. Um,
President Trump.
so the he had to do it.
But you,
I'm just upset that people like Pete Rose and Joe Jackson are not going to be alive to see them get honored if they do get honored because
because
it's still not a foregone conclusion.
you know, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, go on. No,
But it's going to be they're not going to be able to see themselves possibly get honored either baseball hall of fame and just all around the league. It's tough.
here's the thing.
Historical players.
Okay, when we look at this as a gambling thing, you gotta now get with the times a little bit.
Yeah.
Sports gambling is not as taboo as it used to be. Like if you watch a game, whether it be a baseball game, football game, basketball game, hockey game, a curling match, every other ad is from FanDuel, not sponsored, DraftKings, not sponsored, Caesars, not sponsored, MGM, not sponsored. Like every other ad is a gambling ad. So today, it's really not that big of a deal. Like, okay, if you have a gambling addiction, then yes, I highly recommend you get some help. But the thing is, it's not as much as a taboo topic anymore. And you know what the thing is when I said that there needs to be a special election. Because
Yeah.
you know what? Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson got screwed. And they had to wait until they died to get into the Hall of Fame. And is there going to be a special election? I don't know. There's only been two players in baseball history who've been voted in special election, and those were Lou Gehrig and Roberto Clemente. And to be fair, those were kind of different. Those were very different situations. Well, Lou Gehrig was actually still alive when he got in, but Clemente. Okay, if people like compared Clemente to this, like that was a totally different situation. Clemente died suddenly in the plane crash. So that was a totally different situation than this because he was still playing and they did have a special election. But at this point, is he, you know what? Here's the big question for you, Reg. Is Pete Rose going to get in?
I don't know.
Because you know you still have these old fuddy duddies who still think they're protecting the integrity of baseball and, like what you said, do the moral high ground. Because all these people, and I've said this before, Reggie, and I'm going to say it again. this old guard, they're just wait when they leave this earth. They want Rob Manfred to come to their funeral and talk about how they protected baseball and how they were for the integrity and they protected the integrity of the game. This is and what you said about moral high ground. This is not about baseball. This is about a bunch of people who've been there for so too long, who've been there for too long, so they can go to their grave with some self-satisfaction, because they probably believe they're doing the right thing. And again, so they can have Rob Manfred come in and give their eulogy. And you know what? Listen, it's time. It was like yesterday time. It was time 10 years ago to let Pete Rose in. They should have lifted the ban years ago. Because again, sports gambling is now very mainstream. He got caught for gambling. Sports gambling is now very mainstream. And that ban didn't age well. It's like a couple weeks ago on my other show, Mixed Bag, we did a video when we were tier ranking anti-drug PSAs, and some of them were about marijuana. Those didn't age well because marijuana is now legal in a good amount of states. So yeah, I think this whole moral panic about sports gambling, I think now that sports gambling is now more mainstream, it makes no, you should have lifted this ban years ago. I'm sorry, Reg, I got on my soapbox there.
Cincinnati celebrated Pete Rose Day um on the 14th. So um literally the day after he was reinstated by baseball. And if you see the pictures, you go online, you'd be like it's opening day. You know, like it was a massive crowds everywhere celebrating the hit king. So look, I hope one of these days he gets into the Hall of Fame. But the bottom line is, while we're happy that he gets to hopefully have his day, the fact of the matter is he's not going to be around to see it, and that's going to hurt the baseball fan. Let's
It
be real.
does.
It's going to hurt the baseball fan. Um, so yeah. Um, and of course, we gotta have this discussion eventually. We won't have it now, but let's open up the doors a little more. How about we give more chances for Barry Bonds?
Well, I don't think they're like ineligible. I think they just
Not
don't want to touch them with a
ineligible, they're
10
not
feet pole.
ineligible, but they let's give them more chances because I feel like to me I feel like they were not properly evaluated because we talked about how the writers pretty much used their bias against them, which is not fair because again, it was a coordinated effort by the writers to pretty much wash away all what they think was bad for baseball. Just like they thought Pete Rose was bad for baseball.
David Ortiz is
But
in the Hall of Fame, and he was mentioned in the Mitchell report.
that's the funny part. I think we need to expand it a little further to include those that were obviously ostracized because of how these writers think of steroids, which is just crazy. But that's another conversation for another day. We don't have to have the conversation. Um,
But yeah, that was. But no, but all I could say is step in the right direction, but it might, in the words of One Republic, it's too late to apologize.
Oswaldo Cabrera undergoes successful surgery on a gruesome ankle injury. It's an ankle injury. Um,
Well,
he ain't playing the rest of the season.
yeah, he's not coming back this year. I have a question I want to ask you since we've been talking about baseball history. Okay, I was in Pittsburgh last week
Yeah.
and I went to the Pirates game and I saw a sign that said retire 21, which is Roberto Clemente's number. And I think I'm thinking, well, wait a minute, his number's already retired for Pittsburgh. I think what that sign was trying to say is, should we do to Roberto Clemente's number what we do to Jackie Robinson's number?
The
I just
Puerto
want to know
Rican,
what you think.
the Puerto Rican in me wants to say yes, but the baseball fan in me feels like, well, that's a unique honor for Jackie Robinson. Like,
Because he was the first African American.
exactly. Like, look, as a Puerto Rican descent, I'm not gonna be. I will never get mad at that. Like, I would love that. Um,
But like
I'm
here's
gonna say no,
okay.
but don't get me wrong. If it happens, I'm gonna be very thrilled. I would love that. I'm gonna say no for right now.
Why are you saying no for right now?
Well, I just think for Jackie, to me, it's it's unique. I feel like if we keep doing it for for players like a Roberto Clemente and all I just feel like it sort of loses the lust a little bit.
Because we also gotta, we don't just honor his stellar career. We also gotta honor, how he died. He died flying to
Right.
help other people.
Exactly. And he was on a phenomenal mission trip that unfortunately got cut short. But for right now, I say no. I feel like it should be more of a unique honor for Jackie Robinson.
Now I get what you're saying because we honor Jackie Robinson every April 15th. We
That
retired his number 42. And but because pretty soon this is gonna open the door. June 2nd, we have Lou Gehrig Day. Are we gonna retire four all throughout baseball?
and that's the thing. Like I just don't think I see where you're getting. You're not necessarily wrong. I just think for Jackie, it's unique because of what it did for baseball. Nothing against the Lou Gehrig, nothing against the Roberto Clemente. Don't get me wrong. They were major iconic baseball figures. There's no doubt about it. But for Jackie, it's a unique honor because of what it did. And you know, let's be honest, across America, there's a lot of scrutiny because of the color barrier on both sides of the argument. That's just me. But like I said, if it ever happens for Clemente, believe me, you know I'll be going crazy. So I have no
Yeah.
I'll be very thrilled for that.
Like I wouldn't be opposed to them doing that. But you know what? If we retire too many, because it's like, okay, we retired Jackie Robinson's number, which was absolutely the right thing to do. If we retire, okay, we're gonna retire Roberto Clemente's number. Okay, fine. But then is that gonna open the door to more retirements of certain numbers? And is that going to open the retirements more to certain numbers? And is it just going to be not as much as an honor anymore?
Right.
Is it going to be not as much as an honor anymore to have your number retired all throughout sports? Because if they say, okay, we're going to retire Roberto Clemente's number, well, they say, okay, well, since we celebrate Lou Gehrig on June 2nd, should we retire four all throughout baseball?
Do you see how it starts to lose all the nice parts of it?
Yes,
Do you understand that? Like, yeah,
because then it's no longer an honor anymore. But like I said, if they did come out today and said we're going to retire Roberto Clemente's number,
yeah.
I would not be opposed. Okay, well, I think that's it for today. We had a interesting show.
Very interesting show. Great as always. Um, if you like what you see, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can like this video, comment, and then push the that bell for notifications. Um, You can log on to our website, sportscentinetwork.com. And then follow our socials at the search Sports Insanity Network at S Insanity Real on X and Facebook. We don't have Instagram, so don't even try to. I think SIP does, but I don't know if it's run by Patchy, so he made that. So if you see anything from SIP, it's probably Patchy posting something, you know. So um, but yeah, follow our social Sports Standing Network on Twitter, X, or whatever you want to call it, and Facebook. And we'll see you around, hopefully celebrating a Knicks
Victory.
victory. If not, then we're preparing for a rough game 7. I'm not gonna be happy about that. Um, and then of course we'll recap Subway Series and all the other big time weekend stuff. Billy Boy, always good to see you.
Always a pleasure. Good to have you back.
Yep, great to be back. Peace and love. Have a great weekend.